Hey everybody, welcome back to Corpse Factory. Now, I've decided to start in the main menu this time, just to point out that there are more and more characters being added to this main screen. It's kind of reminding me of Doki Doki Literature Club, to be completely honest with you. Hello Bessie, I see you've entered the office. Originally it was just Yuriko sat on the, the gurney, but now we've added Kajiro. Tomoe was added once we became friends with her, and just at the end of the last part, we've got Aoi added to it as well. So I don't know if this is just slowly as people become part of the Corpse Girl group or what's going on, but Aoi has just been added since the last part, which kind of suggests that she's going to get involved in this whole situation. Maybe like a prediction of the future. Anyway, let's actually load the game now, and let me love my little cat. Come on, Bessie, do you want to come up? No. People think I'm just talking to myself if you don't come up. Will I open the door for you? Come on, I'll open the door. There you go, you can leave now. You little crazy cat. Aren't you? You know what, since we started the video... Oh, you're coming up to me? Come on, you can come up. There we go. You can see a tail. That's the co-host Betty. What a lovely, lovely girl she is. Not in keeping with this game, honestly. Now, the first minute of the video is about you now, Betsy. But you can sit here if you want. We can chill out together. Right, anyway, let's actually do the story of the game. A quiet morning at the library is just what I need to escape from the chaotic whirlwind that I've been trapped in for the last few days or weeks. The place is silent as usual. There aren't many people around. I managed to find a seat in my favourite reading nook, and I leave my belongings in a chair to save my spot while I browse for a book to read. I can't bring myself to continue reading Strange Flower right now. Reading a book about corpses while trying to take a moment away from my own life is just not going to work out for me. I scan the bookshelves and look for something light to read. Am I in the mood for comedy? Probably not. A fantasy adventure? Maybe, though that's never really been my thing. Biographies are out of the question, so are history books. I can pretty much dismiss any non-fiction straight away. I'm just not in the mood. So what should I read? The good old Bible. I thumbed through a couple of trashy romance light novels. The covers look appealing, with attractive characters smiling and holding each other and falling in love. But the content within each one is utter crap. A housewife looks for love after her husband vanishes. A vampire lord seeks his vampire queen. A college student falls in love with his professor, only to find she's his long-lost sister. Ooh. It's all drivel. I could write better stories than these, but maybe everyone thinks that way. Defeated, I put all the books back on the shelf and return to the chair I saved. I take a seat and simply browse through my noise feed on my phone. A few photos from acquaintances, comments on the weather, a short essay on human rights, even a poem written in poor, broken English. Trash. All of it. I used to love this inside look at other people's lives. I lived for it. I thrived on it. I used to be aroused at the smallest glimpse inside someone else's life. I couldn't go more than a few hours without browsing noise. But now, something is different. Something inside me has changed. I want to say that I've recently become cynical, jaded, but that wouldn't be accurate. I've been this way as long as I can remember. The appeal of voyeurism just isn't there anymore. My growing ability to manipulate the lives and deaths of other people has ruined any pleasure I once gleaned from simple spying on them. I need more people to die. Maybe then I'll find satisfaction. Ecstasy. Release. I lean back in the chair and fold my arms across my chest, my foot taps against the carpeted floor impatiently. I won't find comfort in this library. I won't find relaxation. I'll only find whatever elusive feeling I'm looking for once Corpse Girl's work is complete. I can't rest yet, not now that things are beginning to escalate. I could be orchestrating the deaths of 3 people right now. The 2 women that had their deaths requested at the same time as Emmy, and my very own sister Yuriko. People are counting on me. People are counting on Corpse Girl to deliver her judgment. I hoist the strap of my handbag over my shoulder and stand up. It's time for Corpse Girl to usher in the new era of human suffering. Wow. We're going way over the deep end now. Monday, June 15th.
A bizarre string of similar deaths in Tokyo over the weekend have left police and detectives completely baffled.
Yeah, they won't be baffled when they fucking look at the corpse that's there and realize it came from the morgue and which morgue it is, because it's, it's not actually their body, it's just someone that's basically painted to look like them.
We have Chief Detective Fujikawa at the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department in the studio today to discuss the events. According to eyewitness reports, a young woman plummeted to her death from an apartment building on Saturday morning. 2 other women suffered a similar fate in different locations late on Sunday night. Police have not yet released information on the identities of the young women. Would you care to share your thoughts, Detective Fujikawa?
So it's going to be a big coincidence that the 3 of them used to work together.
We cannot rule out the possibility of homicide in these cases. Police recovered additional bodies at the site of each death. In each instance, a look-alike corpse matching the appearance of the victim was found. This cannot be mere coincidence. I believe that a single perpetrator is behind the deaths of all 3 women. Leaving a look-alike corpse at the scene of each crime seems to be some sort of psychotic calling card. It's clear that the death of each victim was premeditated. In cases like these, the perpetrator is often looking to be caught, even if only subconsciously. It won't take long to track them down. Once forensic analysis reveals the identities of the look-alike corpses, we will be able to uncover how and where they were obtained.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We will bring the perpetrator to justice.
Police are urging citizens to be cautious in the coming weeks. If you see anyone behaving suspiciously, please call the following number.
999. Whoever it is in Japan.
Damn, this shit's really starting to blow up.
Tomoe, you're an accomplice in all of this. I just want to remind you.
Yeah, it's about time.
3 deaths in 1 weekend. Corpse Girl is on fire.
She couldn't have done it without you. And Kojiro.
That's the testimony there. Your Honor, I could have done it on my own.
So, thanks. I know those corpse deliveries yesterday were rather last minute.
No problem. Had nothing better to do anyway.
I've still got 1 victim ready to conquer, but I'm not sure when to go through with it.
What's the issue?
It's someone I know.
So? Didn't bother you when we stuck it to that Emmy chick.
This is a little different. It's my sister.
Yo, hold up. You've got a sister?
Mm-hmm. Yuriko. She's older than me.
Shit. And like, someone requested her death through Corpse Girl's website?
Seems like it.
Jeez. What are the chances?
I mean, we were also put up there like second, so, pretty high apparently.
I'm wondering the same thing.
Well, think it over a bit longer. You might want to lay low for a while anyway. Sounds like Shinya's dad is all over this case.
Yeah, no shit he would be.
Sorry? Shinya's dad?
Yeah, have you not pieced this together yet, Yuriko?
That detective guy, Fujikawa.
What? He's Shinya's dad?
Yep, friggin' scary guy. Had an awkward dinner with him and Shinya a while back.
Wow.
I imagine it's going to be more awkward in the future.
You know, I met him once before.
You did?
He certainly was intimidating. But don't worry, we only met by chance. Had nothing to do with Corpse Girl.
Alright, as long as he doesn't know your identity, you should be fine. Still, what's your next move?
I'll think over what to do about my sister for a little longer. But as soon as more requests come through the website, I'm going to fulfill them. I don't have the luxury of time. I can't just lay low like you said.
Sheesh, when did you grow a pair?
I'm serious. I'm tired of lagging behind. Corpse Girl is on a winning streak now. It's up to me to keep it going.
Okay, well, just let me know when you need me.
Thanks, I will.
Well, back to work or whatever.
I turn back to my computer after Tomoe leaves. 3 deaths in one weekend. Corpse Girl truly is on the top of her game. It was a bit of hard work, but in the end, I managed to pull through, thanks to a bit of luck of course. Yesterday, after returning home from the library, I had a sudden burst of inspiration. I ran a reverse image search from the photos of the 2 women that were submitted to Corpse Girl's website. It was pretty easy to locate their noise profiles thanks to that. I was kind of shocked when I saw that we all shared 2 mutual friends of noise, Emi Ketsuno and Yuriko Kurasawa. A bit of digging through their profiles revealed their names to be Fuyuma Amano and Manami Sachiko. They both worked at the same store as Emi and my sister. It struck me then that all of these requests must somehow be related, but that didn't matter so much. Tracking down Amano's and Sachiko's addresses wasn't as difficult as I feared. I contacted Tomoe and she told me she was familiar with the store they worked at. She volunteered to head over there and see if she could access the employee records. You're going to be on CCTV camera, Tomoe. You're at the scene of all of the crimes. Apparently the whole job was so easy that she managed to walk in and out in 3 minutes flat. She said that none of the staff even batted an eyelid as she walked in, and she simply strode into the back room, rummaged through the filing cabinet and snapped up a photo of the employee contact sheet. With that information at our disposal, nothing stood in our way of delivering lookalike corpses to their homes. A few hours shared between the morgue and the factory and it was done. Both Amano and Sachiko killed themselves within an hour of each other. Just so you know, roommate, that my camera's on at this point. You just saying hi to the cat? So far, the kill rate of delivering a photo of a corpse is 100%. I can only imagine the thoughts that must go through someone's mind when they are faced with their own corpse. The looming dread, hopelessness, and fear of inevitability have proven to be so overwhelming that suicide becomes the only viable option. Because of this development, I finally ruled out the possibility of Corpse Girl's victims being murdered by some mysterious stranger. Hey, the whole family's here right now. Hello, Millie, as well. You also enjoying yourself? Alright, see you later. I only ever invented that theory due to the strange circumstance in which Rory Hatano died. After all, she was hung from a scarecrow in an uncannily similar fashion to the corpse photo I invented for her. None of the other victims' deaths since then have made me truly suspect that another party could be involved. All of them have been clearly suicides, or in the case of Aichi Hanada, coincidental accidents. Kotomi Ida's death was an outlier since she was likely killed out of self-defense. I'm about 90% certain that Corpse Girl's power lies in the ability to convince victims to end their own lives. There's no third-party murderer acting on her behalf. And I've begun to suspect that the power I hold is no esoteric arcane force. It's not some supernatural art. It's not witchcraft or sorcery or some holy power bestowed upon me from on high. The power Corpse Girl holds is simple determination, grit, resolve. My will to end lives is what drives me to craft convincing corpse photos and deliver lookalike cadavers. That in itself is enough to act as the knife twisting in a victim's side. It's enough to compel those weak of heart and weak of mind to end their lives. If that's all my power ends up being, I'm happy. I'm happy that I can be the instrument that delivers Corpse Girl's justice, regardless of whether it's through mundane or mysterious methods. As long as victims continue to drop like flies in the wake of Corpse Girl's ascension, I will remain content. And this is only just the beginning. There are no new requests when I log into Corpse Girl's website this evening. I'm strangely okay with that. There's something I want to do before more requests come through anyway. I'm going to make some updates to the website. A few improvements that will considerably ease the workload placed upon Corpse Girl, Kajiro and Tomoe. In the website's admin settings, I add a couple of extra data fields to the front page. Instead of just asking for a photo and a phone number, the website now requires the victim's address to be provided. This will ensure that we can successfully deliver a corpse for every request. In addition, the site now asks for the victim's name. I've always been hesitant about requesting this specific detail. I never wanted to know the names of the people corpse girls will kill. It creates familiarity, and I always used to worry that it would prevent me from going through with the request. But, more than all of that, I feared that I would delve too deep into somebody's life. I feared that I would become too attached, too entranced by standing on the outside and looking in. Knowing someone's name would have allowed me to easily find victims online and go down the rabbit hole of spying on their private lives. My voyeuristic fetishes would have defeated me. I know myself, and I know that I would have become far too interested in a person to carry out their death. It's the same reason why I never reverse image searched a victim's photo before yesterday. Now that things are escalating, now that Corpse Girl needs a victim's address to ensure a kill, I have to get past all of that. I have to be strong for Corpse Girl. I'm somewhat relieved that the timing is suitable. After all, I haven't been as aroused as usual when stalking people online. I don't know if my libido is just low, or if I truly have become uninterested in such things. Either way, I believe I'm able to cope with the extra burden of knowledge. Learning victims' names, addresses, all of that, it's going to work in Corpse Girl's favour. And I'm surely strong enough now to not give into temptation and succumb to the scopophilia. Okay, I've never heard of this word before. Into the temptation to succumb to the scopophilia that has plagued my existence for years. After adding the victim's name and address fields to the website, I decided to add one final touch. There's a particular line of text that describes how the site works. I've always liked it. It says your victim will receive a photo of their own corpse shortly before they die. It's concise and perfectly sums up the intention of the website. However, it needs to be updated to correctly apply to Corpse Girl's new modus operandi. I changed the line ever so slightly, just enough to make a difference. It now reads, your victim will receive their own corpse shortly before they die. Some people might think it doesn't make sense. They'll think that maybe it's a typo or written by someone not familiar with the language. But it is completely intentional. Now that I've made all the changes to the website, I click the save button in the admin panel. The changes are reflected immediately on the front page of the site. Corpse Girl's new and improved request form is online. With that done, I need to simply sit back and wait for some new requests to pour in. And it shouldn't take long once I put my next plan into motion. Because I finally figured out how my sister can be of use to me after all these years. She's going to help me become famous. Yuriko Kurasawa's death will ensure that everybody in Japan knows the name Corpse Girl. This sounds dangerous. June 16th, Tuesday morning. For the first time in a while, my fingers scrape against the bottom of the cabinet drawer.
Oh shit.
I fumble around and grab the last remaining burner phone in the drawer. It's a fairly modern handset from around 3 years ago. These newer models never retain their battery charge for more than a month or so when they've been inactive. Thankfully, it uses a generic charger, so I quickly plug it into the kitchen outlet and wait for it to return to life. I glance back down at the open drawer. It's completely empty now. I'm going to need to restock my supply of burners if I hope to continue with Corpse Girl's work. Right, co-host Betty, would you like me to let you out now? Are you done now? I enjoyed the love. See you later. I nervously bite my fingernails at the thought. Getting these phones isn't easy. It's free, yes, but not easy. And if I get busted trying to lift a stack of them, that might very well be the end of me. I'll have to obtain as many new phones as possible at some point today. Once Corpse Girl kills my sister, my website is going to explode with new requests. I need to be as prepared as possible. I decide to finish getting ready for work while the burner phone charges. As much as I'd like to simply skip out and deal with my sister, I do need to pop into the office. Missing too many days is going to lead to getting fired, and that might compromise my mission. I take my medication, I apply my makeup, I pack my handbag. It's all so mundane, but it's all so necessary. Each day is the same routine. There's comfort to be found in that, especially for someone like me, but sometimes I remember the excitement of finding myself in new situations. Even if those situations end up with me lying in the muck of a bathroom floor or against a stone-cold tile to a morgue. When I'm ready to leave the apartment, I snatch the burner phone up and check the battery. It's around 40%, that should be plenty. I stash it in my handbag so it's ready for action when the time comes. I'm out the door at the same time as every other day. I find myself alone in the office well after the working day has ended. The entire floor is empty and silent. I shut down my computer and stretch my tense arms. I don't normally like staying back late, but sometimes it is necessary to get the work done. And when I say work, I am of course referring to Corpse Girl's tasks. When I'm absolutely certain that everybody has gone home, I get out of my chair and wander listlessly around the office. It's kind of nice having the place to myself. It's like my apartment, only bigger and colder, and without that terrible odour of mould that permeates the walls. I notice that quite a few people tend to leave their belongings at their desks. Nothing too valuable. The occasional coat, hat, or pair of headphones. Should somebody of low moral character wish to steal them, there'd be no stopping them. I'm personally not interested in any of that. I walk to the other side of the office floor and reach the seniors' cubicles. Even the seniors leave important things lying around. There's a gift bag with a cake shop logo on the front, a company credit card, a few personal bank statements. But the contents of their desk drawers are where the real gold is found. As I rifle through one drawer in particular, I found exactly what I'm looking for. It's an old Noise brand phone, a few models earlier than my own. It slips into my handbag right alongside the burner phone I brought from home. I close the desk drawer gently and trapeze into the next cubicle. Or traipse even. Not trapeze. I'm dumb. It'd be more impressive if you did trapeze into the next office. That's how you get around in this place. The top drawer here contains a flip phone. A familiar classic. It'll serve me well. Into the handbag it goes. One of the main problems I have with this company, with any company in fact, is the wasteful attitude of the management. Executives, seniors, and even some junior staff are provided with company phones. Basically, if you're expected to make calls on the job, the company will issue you a phone so you don't have to use your own. However, with the rapid evolution of modern technology, phones often find themselves replaced or upgraded well before they cease functioning, and management doesn't care about recycling or repurposing unused, obsolete phones. The devices simply drift to the bottom of drawers or storage cabinets, destined to become forgotten within moments. Am I really doing the wrong thing by taking these phones off the company's hands? It's not like I'm stealing personal property from the employees. I'm only taking what the company is likely to write off as business expense. And this is a multi-billion yen company. Are they really going to miss the odd outdated device? I justified this to myself long ago. I'm ensuring these phones are used for a bigger purpose, and there's nothing bigger than fulfilling Corpse Girl's ambitions. As I swipe the fourth or fifth phone, I hear the ding of the elevator from across the office floor.
Shit.
Someone's here. I need to get away from the cubicles without being seen.
Noriko, is that you?
I must have ducked down a second too late, because the voice identified me correctly. I scuttle forward on my knees just a little bit, so that I'm not so close to the cubicles. When I get to my feet, I'm halfway between the senior employees area and the juniors' open plan desks.
Shinya?
Shinya walks over from the elevator to greet me.
Hi. You're here awfully late. What were you doing over there? That is, if you don't mind me asking.
Stretching my legs.
Oh. I lent my USB drive to one of the seniors earlier, and they didn't return it, so...
Wouldn't have gone with that.
Oh. Did you find it?
Nope. Oh well. I'll ask about it tomorrow.
I could help you look if you like.
Seriously, it's okay. I'm about to head home anyway. What are you doing here?
I left my wallet at my desk. Can you believe it?
Yes.
Luckily, I remembered before I took Tomoe out for dinner. I would have appeared to be quite the buffoon if I'd been unable to pay for our meal.
Yeah, I suppose so. Hey, how are things anyway?
Things with Tomoe are great. We are truly in love.
Yeah, has this serial killer thing not come back yet? Have we not figured this out at the company?
Well, okay, not exactly what I meant, but how are things here? I mean, what happened with Kotomi and...
Ah, that whole kerfuffle. Can you believe Miss Ida is dead now? Is it wrong of me to say that I'm happy she's dead?
Probably.
Is that an awful thing to admit?
Yeah, probably. I gently shake my head, but I don't interrupt his train of thought.
It's so bizarre. Especially considering our relationship and how determined she was to end my career.
It bothers me that Shinya is still referring to the conflict between himself and Kotomi as a relationship.
But it would seem that she was the only one with animosity toward me. As such, the other executives said I'm welcome to work here as long as I like. In fact, they were even generous enough to give me a small salary raise.
Clearly not made in the year 2022.
Wow! That's great, Shinya. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you. It truly was a struggle there for a little while.
Before my brain can even register what I'm saying, the following words tumble out of my mouth.
Do you want to talk about it?
Noriko, I know that I haven't been as open with you as I should have been. Maybe talking about it will help me put the whole thing behind me.
I bite my tongue as I try to think of a way back out of this situation.
Oh, you know, if you're uncomfortable talking to me, maybe Tomoe can help?
My objection is met with a smile. Looks like I'm in too deep now.
Tomoe means well. She really does. But whenever I bring up the subject, she becomes visibly angry. Many a death threat against Miss Ida has been made aloud. I wouldn't be all too surprised if Tomoe was the one who killed her. There certainly is a motive there, after all.
So you don't know who killed Kotomi?
I don't even think the police know that much. Father showed me the photos of the crime scene.
What a caring, responsible parent he is.
Chances are that whoever did kill her was also killed in return. Though, as abusive as she was toward me, I never took her as the type to instigate a mass murder.
Hello, co-host Millie. It's your turn to come to the office. Come on. Come on up. You want to come up? Listen, you don't get many opportunities. Come on. How did you miss the jump? Listen, I'm going to have to pick you up because otherwise people are going to think I'm talking to myself and bringing the episode out to be longer than it actually is. Come on. Come on, Millie. There we go. Come on, let me baby you for a while, okay? Oh, she's like, ow. It's like, nope, father. You're not doing that. Right, go onto your window ledge then.
She was an angry person, yes. But that seemed to stem from a lack of fulfillment. That's what I assume, anyway. And I think that's the reason she made her advances on me.
Shinya, I really am sorry. I'm so sorry that you had to go through such a traumatic experience.
I thought I was going to lose everything. My job, my relationship. Miss Ida threatened to steal it all away from me. Just so she could experience some form of power, some small manner of pleasure. Why do people do those things, Noriko? What joy is there even to be found in...
I take my time to consider my reply. I'm probably not the best person for him to be having this discussion with, but all things considered, it does seem to be helping him come to terms with things.
Shinya, what you went through with Kotomi, what she did to you, That's not what it's about. She never had the right to put you through that. I hope that one day, when you're comfortable and feeling healthy, I hope that you can make some good memories with Tomoe.
Yes. I hope so. Thank you, Noriko.
Don't mention it.
I don't know if my words were the right ones. What right do I have to talk about what he went through? I can only hope that I managed to bring him some sort of comfort.
Well, I better grab my wallet and get going. Don't want to keep Tomoe waiting. Say, would you like to join us, Noriko?
Well, why not, Shinya?
Are you hungry at all?
Oh, I don't want to intrude on your romantic evening.
Come on, Yuriko, intrude.
It's no trouble, really.
Exactly.
Maybe next time. I have some things I need to do tonight.
Oh yeah, the old murdering thing.
Okay, no problem. Well, see you later.
Shinya takes off towards his desk. I breathe a sigh of relief as I hoist my handbag up from the ground, feeling the reassuring weight of my newly acquired burner phones. I enter the elevator and give a polite wave to Shinya as the doors close.
Give me a call back when you leave the restaurant.
You want me to drive tonight?
It has to be tonight. We talked about this.
But
Please. Kojiro's on standby as well.
fine. Not like I've been dying to bring Shinya back to my place or nothing.
Yeah, Tomoe's trying to steal his virginity right now, Yuriko. This is kind of ruining the mood.
Don't push Shinya. Let him tell you when he's ready.
Yeah, I know. Look, I'll probably be out of the restaurant in an hour. That cool?
Yes, thanks.
Bye!
Tomoe hangs up. I look down the street, my gaze aiming directly at the restaurant Tomoe is currently seated at with Shinya. I'll need to kill an owl around here. But what is there to do? You could go see Aoi, I imagine, because doesn't she work literally on one of these restaurants? I'm not exactly keen on the idea of window shopping. I don't even want to be here. But standing in one spot as dozens of people walk by is really nerve-wracking. I could go to visit Aoi at the maid cafe, but then I'd have to pay the table charge to enter, and it's probably pretty weird to be served by girls in maid costumes. Not really my thing. Honestly, I kind of took you for that being all your type of thing, Yuriko, but hey ho, being served by Aoi in a maid outfit? Ooh la la. As I glance around, I notice a 24-hour manga cafe at the end of the street. That could actually be perfect. I could rent a quiet space for a couple of $100 and just read a book until it's time to go. No one there to bother me. In fact, the only person I'd need to speak to is the attendant at the counter. With my mind made up, I hurry along to the manga cafe.
Pretty late.
Come on, you're a night owl. What are you complaining about?
I've got a lab coat now. Nice.
Just making chit-chat.
Well, instead of talking, how about you hold that flashlight still? I can't see what I'm doing with you waving it around.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm nearly done anyway. Fucking Yuriko. This wouldn't be so difficult if she didn't have different haircuts in every single photo on her profile. I'm just going to have to estimate the length of her hair for now.
The corpse on the table in front of me looks like an uncanny clone of my sister. I snip away a little more hair from her fringe, then put the scissors aside.
You two must be close.
The opposite.
Makeup's done!
Thanks. Looks good.
Tomoe beams as she puts the cap back on the lipstick in her hand.
I think we're done. Can you zip up the bag? I really need to wash my hands.
You got it, boss.
I step away from the corpse and plunge my hands into the ice-cold bucket of water on the factory floor. I have to admit that we've become pretty good at this whole thing. In just a week or so, we've managed to refine our art and synchronize our duties.
Okay, load her in the van. I'm going to send the corpse photo now.
We told you we were coming back for you, Kurasawa.
You sure about this? You think she's gonna be awake this time of night?
I'm positive. This is the best time to do it.
According to her noise feed, Yuriko Kurasawa is currently attending a massive party. I'm sure the venue will be packed to the brim with her scumbag friends. She's been posting about it for days. It wasn't hard for me to find out all the information I needed, since whoever organised the party posted it as a public event. Yuriko is about to receive a photo of her own corpse. And, in less than an hour's time, she's going to receive her carbon copy corpse in a body bag in front of at least 100 people. This seems really poor. I don't like the idea of this plan. This is potentially 100 witnesses. This seems silly. Also, it's 100 people that are going to be, there to help her. Everyone else has been on their own when they received the photos. I'm worried. The mass panic that will break out is sure to be hilarious. I don't want to miss it, and I don't want to miss my sister's final moments. Maybe she'll kill herself in front of her closest friends, or maybe the terror will slowly eat away at her, and she'll go home first before deciding she just can't take it anymore. I'm happy with either result. She's finally going to get what she deserves. I hate her so much. She's a low-life degenerate, a delinquent, the utter scum of the earth, and she never calls me. I doubt she remembers I even exist.
Ready to go?
I snap out my thoughts and look at the phone that I've been subconsciously holding in my feeble grip. It's the burner I picked up from the home earlier this morning. Yuriko's corpse photo is glowing on the screen, ready to be launched into the network. I hit send.
Okay.
Kojiro nods and hauls the zipped up body bag onto his shoulder. The weight of the cadaver inside caused him to stumble a little, but he regains his balance and shuffles towards the factory entrance. By the way, Yuriko, considering what happened with Kotomi Ida and your plan to, extort money from them, what happens if they send you a reply after you've delivered the corpse? That's kind of awkward, isn't it? You'd have to, send Tomoe back to pick it up again. I examine the body bag as Kojiro carries it. It's the same white HRP that we picked up from the morgue, but I've made a rather nice adjustment to it. Big bold letters are scrawled along the sides in purple and black permanent marker. It says, "With love from Corpse Girl." Underneath the massive letters, in smaller script, is Corpse Girl's website address. Great, I'm sure the police will enjoy this calling cards. A scribble of cute anime girl decorates the other side of the bag. It's the very same character that dances animatedly on Corpse Girl's website. Tomoe told me this was a bold move. Kojiro didn't seem to care. Yuriko Kurasawa is about to be publicly executed. Tonight is the night that Corpse Girl becomes known to the world. All the evidence we're leaving, man. The corpses from a morgue that they're going to know where it is when they've done the ID. The web address that no doubt they're going to be able to find in the login details and where we've logged in from. And they're going to try and arrest, our understairs neighbour, Kenji. And then they're going to realise, it's our sister and some people we've worked with and some people, we work, and they worked with, and we've worked with. It's going to come back to us, right? This is the quietest house party I've ever witnessed. I only managed to catch a glimpse of it before Kojiro shields my eyes with his ice-cold hand. I want to object to him censoring my vision, but the smell of blood caused me to slump against his shoulder, and I resort to whimpering quietly as he places me gently on the ground. The vision of the house party from hell is still vivid behind my closed eyelids. It's not like I've been to many house parties in my life. In fact, when I really think about it, I don't think I've ever been to a single one before this moment. But I've seen them on television, I've seen them in movies. They're always loud, music is blasting, people are dancing, drinking, making out. The scene I witnessed doesn't look like any of that. I'm pretty sure dead bodies don't line the floor at a regular house party. I'm pretty sure trails of blood aren't on the guest list. This party is weird. The walls are slashed, There's broken glass everywhere. Specks of blood are dotted across the furniture. Someone in the next room is sobbing quietly. Someone above, perhaps inside the ceiling, is groaning. Kojiro is sitting next to me now. I can imagine a bored expression hovering over his features. He still has his hand over my eyes. He taps the fingers of his other hand against my body bag beside him. His digits drum out a rhythmic beat upon Yuriko Kurasawa's clone, still zipped up and sealed inside a temporary coffin. I think Tomoe's still in the van. She said something about not wanting to get messed up. I never planned on entering this party, but Kojiro dragged the body inside, then returned shortly after and told me I should come take a look. So here I am, blinded by Kojiro's misguided attempt to protect me from the carnage I willingly unleashed. I asked him if he killed all the people here. He said no. I suppose I believe him. I managed to squint through a gap in Kojiro's fingers momentarily. The blurred shapes of 4 or 5 bodies are on the floor in front of us. There's a stray arm lying limply on a chair that's currently unaccounted for. Kojiro presses down firmly against my face and my vision darkens once more. I hear his voice and imagine his calm demeanor in my mind.
Thoughts?
Don't know.
I haven't managed to sort my head out just yet.
Your sister's over there. Well, a corpse that looks like her, at any rate.
Give me a second.
Okay.
Kojiro releases his grip from my face. I stand, I tiptoe forward, stumbling thanks to my still blurry eyes. I can make out the shape of a sofa close to the wall, and I approach it carefully. The empty gap between the sofa and the wall is 3 foot wide space. I'm not sure why the owner of this house doesn't keep the sofa directly against the wall. The empty space here seems kind of useless. Maybe if the sofa is all the way against the wall, becomes too far from the TV. That's a possibility. I would personally just get a bigger TV so that the sofa can be kept comfortably flush with the wall. The more important things. The gap here really annoys me. It's making me irritated. I want to push the sofa back myself, but I know I don't have the strength. It's a massive thing, bigger than I am, and maybe even bigger than Corpse Girl. Even if I was strong enough to move it, there's still the issue of my sister lying here between the sofa and the wall. She's in the way. I'd have to move her first, and the thought of touching her is absolutely disgusting. Even when she was alive, I never wanted to touch her. She's a foul excuse of a human being.
Hey, Yuriko. Long time no see.
She doesn't respond.
You don't look so hot. Guess I'm prettier now, huh? Why do you never call me? Whatever. I wouldn't answer the phone anyway.
She doesn't say anything. The sound of someone grunting behind me doesn't interrupt my concentration. I assume it's just that Kojiro is clearing his throat.
Have you seen Mother lately? I haven't heard from her in a while. I'm sure she's fine. Are you still on parole? I heard you were working at a clothing store. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm working for Temujin at the moment.
Yuriko nods. Excuse me?
It's okay. There are worse jobs, I'm sure. How did you get that cut across your throat? Does it hurt?
I reached forward and slipped my fingers into Yuriko's gashed throat. Okay. You know when I said we went off the deep end? We have gone well beyond the deep end now. Like, you can't even possibly see the bottom of the deep end anymore. We're so far off it. When I removed them, I frowned at the red blood dripping down in the gaps between my knuckles. Also, I just, planted some more evidence of this corpse on my body.
That's disgusting. Remember when you bandaged me up after I busted my knee? You said Mother would be mad if she found out that you hurt me. So you tried your best to fix me up before she got home. She found out, though. I think she's going to find out about this, too. There's no way you can keep this from her, Yu.
Yuriko smiles gently. I wipe the blood onto my shirt.
Oh? Him? That's Kojiro. He's a friend. No, there's nothing between us.
I hear the grunt from behind once more.
I know. You're actually nicer than I remember. Why couldn't you ever be this nice when we were kids? If you'd been this nice to me, then maybe I wouldn't have spent my entire teenage life wishing you would drop dead. Oh, I guess my wishes came true after all.
Yuriko laughs along with me. It doesn't sound like a laugh, I remember. It's more like a gurgle, like she has something caught in her throat. Yeah, like a knife. A trickle of blood pours from between her lips, and she coughs.
Oh, do you need a tissue?
Oh, is she still alive?
Here.
I unzip my handbag and retrieve a tissue, then hand it to Yuriko. She tilts her head and sprays the rest of the blood from her mouth.
Fuck you, Noriko.
Okay. I gotta go. Say hi to Father for me.
No, clearly we're just going insane. I leave Yuriko behind. After making my way out of the cursed house, I find Kojiro waiting for me by the van. Tomoe has shut herself inside and rolled up all the windows.
I think we're done here.
Okay. Leave this here?
He lazily indicates the body bag on the ground.
Yeah, I guess so. We didn't need it after all.
Stop leaving evidence, I beg of you.
Guess not.
Kojiro slaps his broad hands across his trousers. Dusting them off, he cocks his neck to the side and stretches his limbs. I make an attempt to reach for the van's door, but Kojiro stops me.
Not curious about what happened?
Only a little. She's dead, though. Or dying. That's all that matters. Oh, actually, give me 1 second.
I quickly dart back inside the house. Are you going to spit on her and leave some more DNA there? I weave across the room and duck behind the sofa once more. Yuriko is silent and unmoving. I do my best to push her body to the side with my skeletal arms. She budges an inch or two, and I find what I'm looking for. Her phone buried between her ass and the carpet. I turn on the screen and find there's no fingerprint or passcode lock. The photo of Yuriko's corpse, the very same photo that I sent to her earlier, is still on the screen.
I guess she did receive the photo then. Maybe that's all it took this time. She must have been pretty freaked if she killed all the people here. This is like the Kotomi Ida situation all over again.
My voyeuristic tendencies flare up, and I decide to look through the rest of her photos. I swipe across the screen just once, and nearly jump out my skin. Yuriko received a photo right before she received the one I sent. It arrived 10 minutes before my photo. It's another image of a corpse. Another photo depicting her death, but it's completely different from the one I crafted.
What the fuck?
Uh-oh! Someone else sent Yuriko Kurasawa a photo of her own corpse only 10 minutes before I did. Yuriko received a corpse photo from somebody else? What is going on? I examined the photo in detail. It's well made, just like my own work. If I didn't know any better, it would be easy to assume that I made this. But what stands out the most is the writing on the bottom of the image. It simply says, "Stab Shuji at the party." Stab Shuji at the party? Who the hell is Shuji? Is he here? Is he one of the dead bodies scattered around this accursed house? I quickly discard the thoughts of Shuji. A more important question has come to my attention. Is someone else crafting corpse photos and sending them to people? Does Corpse Girl have a copycat? An imitator? But why target Yuriko? Why target somebody whose death was requested through Corpse Girl's website? I can't process this right now. It's already past midnight and I'm utterly exhausted. I shove Yuriko's phone into my handbag and get the hell out of the house. Alright, I think we'll end this here. That's a suitable enough cliffhanger. If you've enjoyed this episode, remember to leave a like and subscribe. Everything helps me out, and I'll see you on the future part. Goodbye.